Welcome back to Snow Dogs Cooking, where if we can cook it, so can you, because trust me, I'm really not that great at this, but all we can do is try. Today, we're gonna make real old-fashioned sour cream donuts. So a couple weeks ago I was in Vegas and I went to Pink Box Donuts for the very first time, and I had a chocolate old-fashioned donut, which we might try those in the future too. And it has just got me wanting real donuts. And we have a donut shop here. They don't make the greatest donuts. None of the places in town do. So we figured, why not try to make them ourselves and show you guys how to do this. Fair warning, never done this before. This is the first time we're trying this. Let's see if it works out. I guess you're along for the ride with us. As always, we have best kitchen helper here who is ready to help. We have second best kitchen helper here who is leaving the kitchen. Maybe she's not so ready to help. Third best kitchen helper who knows that something is going on in here, so she won't come in the kitchen. And Jamie will be here. He's looking for the pan that we need to fry these in, which we think is downstairs. We'll find it. We'll figure it out. So before we get into this, I'm going to go over all of the ingredients that you will need, and then as we go through it, you'll figure out how much of each of it you're going to need. You're going to need cake flour. You can use all-purpose flour or a different type of flour, but your donuts are going to be dense. Cake flour has a lower protein, so it makes a nice fluffy donut. Highly recommend just getting the cake flour. So you're going to need cake flour, you're going to need baking powder, you're going to need some salt, you're going to need some sugar, you're going to need some Crisco or shortening. We're using this. I almost got lard, but we're going to use that because it's easier to get for most people. You're going to need 2 egg yolks. Yes, you don't need the whites. I just was letting these get to room temperature. You're going to need some sour cream. You're going to need some oil for frying. We are choosing to use canola oil. Peanut oil kind of makes your donuts taste a little peanutty. This is the safest oil to use when making donuts. We're also going to need some powdered sugar, and we're going to need some corn syrup. Those are mostly for the glaze, but basically this is all the things you're going to need. And now we're going to make old-fashioned sour cream donuts. Also, I feel like I should say this. I hate sour cream. Like, I don't put it on things. I don't like the way it tastes. This doesn't taste like sour cream. If you've never had a sour cream donut because you were afraid it was going to taste like sour cream, no, sour cream is great for baking and putting in stuff. I just don't like it by itself. Look, dry ingredients. Look, Jamie. Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
So we're gonna mix together all of our dry ingredients. So this is 2 1/4 cups of the cake flour, and then we have 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. We have this in its own bowl. We're gonna dump them all in there. And then, you wanna whisk it together for me?
I can do that, absolutely.
And then whiskey business. Whisk it together. So we're basically just lightly whisking the dry ingredients together so that they are incorporated. Okay, so next, we're gonna take the 1/2 cup of sugar and put it into our mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can do this by hand.
Good luck.
And then 2 tablespoons, I got a spoon here to help get that out. 2 tablespoons of the Crisco, the shortening. I almost got lard. Almost.
I mean, Grandma used to always cook with this.
Yeah, I think this will be pretty good. So we're gonna need 2 tablespoons of that.
Not easy to measure.
No, it is not easy to measure. So I think you're pretty good. That's why I got the spoon. I thought it would be the easiest. Yeah. I found the round measury spoon, and the spoon.
Okay.
Into the mixer it goes. Hi, best kitchen helper ever. And then we're gonna mix this in the mixer for about 2 minutes on medium. We kind of want to incorporate all of the Crisco with the sugar. What do you think it tastes like?
Greasy sugar.
Greasy sugar. I dare you to taste it.
No thanks.
Okay, the next thing we will be adding is 2 egg yolks. I already separated these, and I know everybody's going to want to know how I did it. I just did it using the shells. I find that to be the easiest way. You taught me how to do that, and that's how I've always done it.
Yeah, you can just balance one yolk in half of that shell, and then all the white falls out.
Apparently not everybody can do that.
Oh, well, and then if it doesn't work, you can flip the yolk into the other side, too, if you get a good break in half.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think those look pretty good. So now we're going to put these into here and mix for another 2 minutes. So now we have made lemon frosting without any lemon. Don't eat this. Oh, there's some shortening on the thing.
I see that. We'll get that right here because we got to add.
We got to add 2/3 of a cup of sour cream. And then we're only going to lightly mix it after that. Because then we got to add all the dry ingredients. Oh, I hate sour cream. It's so weird because these are my favorite donuts.
Yeah, it is funny that you say that too, that you hate it. And I'm like, I don't know if you actually hate it.
Yeah, I do.
Well, yeah.
I don't like it on stuff. When I can taste it, I like it in stuff. Not on stuff.
Best used in cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it on tacos either. So I want to put this to you guys in the comments down below. How many of you, what is your favorite kind of donut? Is it sour cream donuts, like deep fried donuts? Do you like yeast donuts? Do you like cake donuts are my least favorite. I don't like donuts that you bake in the oven because, like, that's just cake.
That's cake, yeah.
If I wanted cake, I would make cake. So I'm so excited for these. And then I'm excited to make variations of these for you guys if they turn out. So let's really hope they turn out. Now we're going to mix this for like 30 seconds. We just kind of want to incorporate it a little bit. Nope. And then we're going to start adding the dry ingredients, which we're going to add half and then add the other half. It doesn't, well, it still kind of looks lemony to me. It's not though. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add about half of the dry ingredients and let that mix together. And then we'll add the other half. Looking like dough. What is this? Hi. Is it gonna be a good day? Say, yup, my bellies is up. Just barely balancing on the chair. Good job. Okay, so this is going to be a sticky dough. That's why we have to get this cold. So we're gonna scrape down the sides in this, and then we're gonna go ahead and, you could take it out of here if you wanted to. I'm not going to because it is sticky. So we're kind of gonna scrape down the sides of it and get it into kind of a dough ball in the middle of here. And then it's gonna go in the fridge for at least an hour. This is easier to work with when it's cold. You could also make this ahead of time, make it, and then get up in the morning and make your donuts. But we're gonna, I know, right? Isn't that a great idea? So we're gonna go ahead and kind of form this down and then put a lid on it and put it in the fridge. Put a lid on it.
That's
yeah, it's very sticky dough. And then, woo! You almost got that. Almost.
Okay.
Into the fridge it goes for a minimum of 1 hour. Memphis is like, I'm helping. Let me get that fridge for you, Dad. Let me be your emotional support for putting it in the fridge. If you're wondering what we're going to be using to cut the donuts, look, we got a donut cutter. It's even got the hole in it. We'll see how it works. But we gotta wait for the dough to be done. Okay, so we were gonna do this on the stove in a pan, but we have this deep fryer, which I'm hoping is going to work. If not, we may have to go back to the stove on the pan, because this does have the element down in here. But either way, we wanna get our oil up to about 330 degrees. So I have my candy thermometer. This also will tell me what the oil is too, but just to be safe, we're keeping this in here as well. Also, remember how we said you could leave it in the fridge overnight and do it the next day? That's what we ended up doing. It is the next day. Big, important part of this is to make sure that your dough stays cold and that your oil is the right temperature. So don't just dump a bunch of donuts in there, because that's gonna drop the temperature of the oil and we don't want that. That's gonna create uneven cooking. So you always want it to be right between that 330, 340. That's about where we're keeping it at. That's when you can add donuts. So we're gonna make the glaze real quick, then we're gonna roll out these donuts, and we're gonna see if we can make this work. Okay, so we just turned our oil on. We're gonna make the glaze, and then we're gonna make donuts. So this is 3 cups of powdered sugar. You need to add 1.5 teaspoons of the corn syrup, which this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so add 3 of those. And then we're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna add just a little bit over 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then 1/3 cup of hot water, which we already got hot. Now you can mix this in your KitchenAid or you can hand whisk it. We're gonna whisk it with our little blender thingy. Don't move it. Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna mix this together and this is gonna make a beautiful glaze. If your glaze is too thin, add more powdered sugar. If it's too thick, add more water. It's as simple as that. And yes, this looks like a lot, but we gotta dip a lot of donuts in here. The recipe will make about 12 donuts plus donut holes. We'll see if we get that out of it, but woo, woo, woo. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. It's working. Look at the oil is dancing in there. Okay, we got the glaze done. which tastes amazing, by the way. Now, we're taking our cake flour. Remember, we're using cake flour. We are flouring our surface. The other thing that we need to do when we get there is you want to dip this in a little bit of flour before you cut your donuts as well, because it will stick to this if you don't. Okay. Are you ready? Woo-hoo. Here's our dough, which is very cold because, like I said, we did leave it in there overnight. See, we told people you could, and then we did.
And that it'll be better, actually.
Yeah. Look at that. See, it came off the sides. Yeah, you were worried it was gonna.
It's nice that it gets all to one consistent temperature.
Yes. Yeah.
Right after you make it, if you only wait if you're anxious and you really want to bake it.
If you wait the hour, it's probably not long enough.
It's probably not long enough.
Yeah, I would say a couple of hours. So, like, if you made it...
The longer you wait, the better.
The better, yeah. Really. And the reason that it needs to be cold is the baking powder and the sour cream are going to react together, and we don't want that to happen until we put it in the fryer.
Okay, I think that's about it.
Okay, so we're going to start... Remember, we're going to roll this out to a 1/2 inch. I have this really cool rolling pin, but it doesn't go to 2 inches. Or 2 inches. Sorry. It doesn't go to a 1/2 inch. So...
And what do you need this at, a 1/2 inch thickness?
1/2 inch, yeah. This needs to be 1/2 inch.
So that's that's about that thickness between one of these lines.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, just remember, if you go all the way down to the purple and make it flat, then it's 3/8 of an inch, and we need a 1/2 inch, so it's got to be a little thicker than that.
So we'll just balance it up a little.
Can you 3D print me a thing to make it a 1/2 inch?
I can.
Oh, quick, do that. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe next time. We'll measure and show everybody. You did nail it. It's hard to pick up on camera, but you
if you had a few
it.
rubber bands, you could.
Right.
You could just wrap these in a couple rubber bands to make it a little thicker.
Okay, so we're good. Now remember, you got to dip that in a little bit of flour too. So flour that a little bit, because otherwise, apparently it'll stick inside of there. That's what the tip said. There you go.
Pro tips.
Yeah. There you go. Push it right down. Pull it up. Should be able to just tap it, hopefully, maybe. Hopefully it didn't stick. Okay, maybe it stuck. Well, I guess it's got holes in the top we can push it through.
We are going to have to probably push it through.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, it's working. We're going to try to get as many full-size donuts out of this that we can, and then we might do either some sticks or maybe some holes because we're cutting the holes out, but right now we're re-rolling the dough back in to see what we can get. Woohoo! Oh yeah, and we determined that doing this separately was working better. Yeah. Okay, so I want to show. We used all of our dough. We ended up with math. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 13 and a half. And then we kept 3 little donut holes, which we're actually not going to glaze those, and those will be for the dogs. Because, you know, they can be spoiled too. Check on this. Oh, we're right at 330. I'm going to turn this a little bit up, but you can see here, we're right at 330. So, I guess this is the test. You wanna lower one in?
You want to start with one of the small ones first?
So this is what we're going to do. It's 15 seconds, flip it, 75 seconds, flip it, 75 seconds. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to test it, huh? See, my worry is doing it in here. If they don't float, we don't want them to touch the bottom piece there. But they should eventually float. We're running our test with one of the donut holes. I think it's working. It is a little jet boat. It's getting golden brown. Okay, go ahead, flip it.
Whoops, too fast. Okay.
Okay.
That's perfect.
All right. So the edges are going to be really golden brown. That's what we're looking for. That's about done. All right, now that we have it figured out, we're doing it. Set a timer for 75 seconds. We're not doing the 15 seconds. We're not doing the 15-second flip thing because this seemed to work better.
Well,
not touching them as much.
15 seconds, I'm going to break them free of the bottom so
yes,
they don't have the lines.
So they don't have the lines, right. But we're not going to flip them because we did a test. The test turned out awesome. So now these are the real ones. Oh my goodness, hon. These look perfect.
That looks pretty.
Perfection. Can you hear it? Mm-hmm. Can you hear it? So when you take them out of there, they are still going to cook for a little bit. So before we dip them, see how you can still see it's kind of cooking and you can see a little bit of the oil there. I'm going to flip these over in just a second to kind of let some of that drip off. But you want to let them cool just to the touch, then dip them in the glaze. Okay, so these are just barely hot to the touch. We're going to take the donut. Oh, that one's still a little this one. We're going to take it. We're going to plop it right in here. Now, you can do just one side and pull it out, but who on earth wants to do that? You take your fork, stick it through the middle, Kind of push that down, make sure all the sides. And then you take your fork, stick it through the middle, slowly pull it out of there.
Yeah, you don't want to break it.
And let that glaze kind of run off. Not all of it, of course, and it won't all run off. You can kind of move it a little bit. Once it stops really dripping, which we're about to that point, you can take it, put it a little bit there, and then onto the tray it goes. Look at the ones that are finished. They're beautiful. Oh my goodness. This. So much easier than I anticipated. I think I was way more nervous about this than I needed to be. Go ahead.
You built your confidence as doing
as
it, right?
when that one turned out, I went, oh my gosh, we can do it. Oh, look at that.
Do you want the bigger piece?
Sure.
All right. So this one's going to be yours.
Okay, you set it there.
Okay.
You go ahead and try it. And I knew you got, are you going to try it without coffee first?
I'll try it without coffee.
I know you love your sour cream donuts with coffee. Take a nibble without the coffee. Is it better than any other donut you've ever had at the store?
It's pretty good.
You're like, it needs coffee.
It needs my coffee. I just love
I know,
sour
you
cream
love
and
sour
coffee.
cream donuts and coffee. Weirdo. Tell me if that's 10 times better. Yeah? Oh, we made 3 for the dogs and then we realized they're huge, so we're going to break one up and give it to them. But I'm going to try this now.
Okay. All right, you got your, that looks good. I see.
It's got the sour cream donuts have that crunchy
Crunch on the
edge.
outside, yep, but still,
That's why they gotta be fried.
but moist,
So moist
on the
in the middle.
inside. And I see Eleanor. She's like, "Mom, could I try some?"
This is really close to the pink box donut flavor.
The flavor is amazing.
Yeah.
I like the flavor.
Really close. We're gonna have to make a chocolate version of these.
The chocolate version would be probably good.
Oh yeah, this is a win. Make these. Don't be scared. Just do it. Make these. All right, moderation, people. Moderation. Look at Memphis. Hey, excuse me, ma'am. You cannot jump on me. You ready? You ready? This is a little piece of donut, just for you. What do you think? She's like, oh my goodness. Oh, and look at this. Third best kitchen helper has arrived. Ready? Thank you for chewing.
Yeah. Oh man, that's good.
Your turn. She's like, whoa.
I must taste this one.
She's like, whoa, okay. She's like, whoa, okay, like 14 more, please. 14 more, please, immediately. Were they good? All right, you only get one little piece. You girls don't need to eat donuts. That was amazing. So now you're going to have to let us know, do you want to see us make more donuts? If you try to make these, I would love to hear how yours turned out. Look at them. They're amazing. They're so good. So good. Suggestions? What other donuts would you like to see us make? I'm not a big fan of cake donuts. I like yeast donuts and I like deep fried donuts. Cake donuts, you know, they are what they are. But yeah, let me know. Maybe we'll try some other donut concoctions. All right, you guys, we hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay positive, dream big, and we will see you again soon. Goodbye, audience.